Cheers and welcome my friends, I'm Horadrak and we are playing Europa Universalis 4 together. This is the beginning of a new series, so we'll jump right in. We are going to be playing as the Hansa, the North German merchant republic. This will be our options. We will be giving bonuses to the AI, so it will be a bit more difficult for us. We are playing on hard difficulty and we have lucky nations on historical. That's all fine and dandy. Let's start the game. Now the game struggles a bit with accounting for the real historic position of the Hansa. Hansa means, if you translate it literally, something like alliance. And this is what it is. It's an alliance between a lot, and I really mean a lot of cities in the Baltic region. It had influence from, this was the capital, sort of a center focal point of it, but an informal capital. This was just the most powerful of the cities of the Hansa, Lübeck, but it extended to Novgorod in the east, and it also extended to say London or something. So it was a giant trading network, and the Hansa or alliance aspect of it was mostly that they made some joint politics. They embargoed cities, and they even made war against some states that interfered with their trading politics. But the game struggles to account for that, because the game works on an territory basis. As you can see, I'm not sure if you have ever played Europa Universalis. I'm going to explain it a bit. So the whole world is made up of provinces. These provinces are your central gameplay element. They give you income. They give you people, soldiers, that you can send into your wars. And you can build soldiers and ships, and you can recruit mercenaries. And other than that, you only have your armies and your ships, and you have some agents. You have these agents that you can use. So you have a missionary that you can use to convert religion in provinces. That will be important later in the game. Then you have diplomats that you can use to do diplomatic actions with other countries. You can get colonists if you take the right idea groups to colonize land in the new world. And you have merchants that you can use to steer trade in the way you want it to be. You can collect or you can transfer trade power. We'll get into that later. But the problem is, the game cannot really show that. It's all cannot show the real character of the Hansa, because it's all territory based. So it has to create a Hansa that is a territorial state instead of just a loose alliance of cities. Because Hamburg wasn't actually that big and Lübeck wasn't actually that big. They were oftentimes they had a difficult relationship to the feudal lords. Like Lübeck had problems with the Duke of Mecklenburg, and the game cannot really adequately show that. Now, what are we going to do with the Hansa? We have three provinces. We have Bremen, we have Hamburg, and we have Lübeck. Lübeck is our capital city. And our goal with this will be, for role-playing reasons, we are going to settle the coastline. If you go here to the trade map mode, you see that the world is made up of different trade zones. Like this is the Lübeck trade zone, or the provinces that belong to the Lübeck trade zone are in the color of the Lübeck zone. And then you have over here the Novgorod zone and the Baltic zone. And basically trade or money is flowing in the direction of these little arrows and can be collected at any point. But you get bonuses if you steer the money farther down to collect it somewhere. So if the Netherlands collect in the channel, in the English Channel, in their home node, in the steer stuff from all over here, from India and Polynesia and stuff, they get quite large bonuses for only steering. And your home node, the node where your capital is in, automatically collects all that money. You can also send merchants to collect at any place, but it will come at a reduced efficiency of collecting, because you just haven't got the power to back it up. You can change your main trading port to another node, so our capital could still be Lübeck, but we could put our main trading port into the English Channel. Now you see that there are no arrows going out from the English Channel, so the English Channel is a end node. There are some end nodes. You have Genoa, Venice, and the English Channel as end nodes. No trade flows out from here, so it is preferable to own an end node. So we will try to expand into the Low Countries, especially to get Antwerpen and Holland, where you see these little icons. They represent a higher provincial trade power. So you can control the trade in this node better when you have control of these provinces. Now Holland is an important center of trade, and it also has an estuary of a river. Here it's the estuary of the Rhine. And because historically much trading went by rivers, because rivers and waterways were just infinitely better at transporting goods than on land, they give you quite a bit of trade power. And the money that you can get out of this, you can think of it as tax income or something. Now you see that this end node is the only end node that is in our reach. So we will try to get all the continental bit. We could even try to be bold and conquer London. Problem is, it doesn't really fit the Hansa to have much of a territory, but we'll just have to reconcile that in our own minds. So we'll think of it as it's only the city that is in some way connected to our trading empire or something. Now what you can see is that our biggest rival in the Lübeck trade node is Denmark. Now historically the Hansa waged war against Denmark several times to try and decide who has the control of the trade over the Baltic. We will have to do that too. The Danes are levying a toll from every ship that comes through here, through the sound. They're calling it the sound toll, or the Danegeld, the Danegeld, something like that. So we have to try to break their supremacy, if you want. Now our goal will be to expand along the coastline here and expand along the Baltic coastline, just to get the Baltic trade firmly under our thumb. As you can see, there are some important centers of trade here. We have to conquer Danzig from the Teutonic Order, or more likely Poland. We have to get Memel, and we have to get Riga, and then we shall be in pretty good shape. We only need those 3 provinces. The rest doesn't really matter, but for the sake of easiness, we could try to get the coastline down here to connect it with our capital. And then what would be really good would be if we could get possession of Neva, because it has an estuary. It has the Neva estuary. And Novgorod, but it's not very likely that we can pull this off, because what normally happens in the game, you can see this is the Merchant Republic of Novgorod, and it gets beaten by Muscovy. The Principality of Muscovy is what will later form Russia historically, and the Novgorodians were actually beaten by the Principality, and their city burned and the citizens slaughtered. It ended in a very bad way for them. But it could be that they can stall Muscovy for long enough to let us do that. And then when we have trade firmly in our hand, when we have humiliated and neutered the Danes, and when we have the important provinces in our home node and in the nodes that feed into our home node, like we could get... there are no important centers of trade in the Saxony node. That's interesting. Oh no, Prague is an important center of trade. That's the only thing. I don't think it will happen that we can conquer Prague. And here, what we could do is, historically, Cologne was part of the Hansa. It was one of the biggest members. So there would be some historical precedent to owning Cologne. We'll have to see about that. Yeah, ideally it would be connected to our land somehow, but yeah, we shall see what we can do. Yeah, and if we have all this trade firmly under our thumb, we might then go and remedy the biggest contributing factor to the downfall of the Hansa, which was mainly that the Baltic trade diminished in importance as soon as the trade with the Americas and the American colonies really picked up, because then Lübeck wasn't really that well placed to profit from it. Hamburg could keep its importance for a bit, but yeah, the importance of the Hansa really diminished. In a way, its fate was similar to that of Venice. Venice also lost a lot of its power when the trade from India and these countries did no longer go over Egypt or the Ottomans, but instead went round the Cape, and was therefore nearly monopolized by the big naval powers, Portugal, Castile, and England, and to an extent France. But yeah, they were sort of there, but never the biggest contenders. Now, if you never played Europa Universalis, I will try to explain as many gameplay elements as I can as we go along. Now, this is our army, our standing army. We have this number 9, shows you the number of regiments. Each regiment consists of 1,000 men. So we have 7,000 men of infantry and 2,000 men of cavalry. This army has no leader. You can scroll here through the regiments. You can also name them if you want. You can give it a leader, and there are several options for this. But I think, yeah, alright, we'll do the PowerPoint system. So you have 3 PowerPoints. You have administrative power, diplomatic power, and military power. You get a monthly increase in all these 3 depending on the abilities of your ruler, and this basically represents how well you are equipped, how well you are able to handle the things that you want to do. Stuff that you want to do might, for example, be recruit a general. I will have to spend 50 military power to recruit a general. This is sort of a second currency. We have 2 currencies. We have money and we have these power things. And if you take a look at our ruler is Sündig Kurt Amsink, and he has administrative skill of 2, a diplomatic skill of 4, and a military skill of 2. So you get a base income of 3 in each category, and then you get 1 for each point of the respective skill of your ruler. So we're getting 2 of his because of his admin skill, 4 because of his diplomatic skill, and 2 because of his military skill. You can also hire some advisors that will help you to get more points, but they cost money. So there is a way to convert the money resource into this power resource. You can see these guys, they have some additional benefits, additional to giving you power points per month. And so this guy is reducing inflation, he is improving prestige, and he is reducing the cost that you need to improve your stability. I'm not sure if I should go over the AI things. I'll do it in a very short way. Now this is our money, and you can also see our income in here. This is the manpower. Every time we build another regiment, 1,000 manpower is taken from this pool, from this manpower pool. And if we take losses in battle, they will be refilled out of our manpower pool. When you are out of manpower, your armies will not reinforce anymore, and you have to buy mercenaries or end your war very quickly. This is our stability. If you have low stability, you get unrest in your provinces, you get lower taxes. If you have high stability, you get a tax bonus, and you get a lowered revolt risk. So it just signifies how well your realm is working together, and how the different groups are, how content people are with you. This is prestige. This is how other countries see our land. And this is Republican tradition. Now this represents, as it says in the tooltip, the acceptance of Republican ideals in a country. The lower it is, the likelier reactionaries will rise up to restore despotism. So we are a republic. That means we get an election every 4 years, I think, in a mercenary republic. It should be listed here somewhere. Yeah, every 4 years elections are held. And every time you re-elect a leader that has already reigned, you lose Republican tradition, because you're moving from your Republican ideals that guys should be elected and that power should move from hand to hand, to a state where one person holds all the power for longer and longer times. Now this is desirable because when you re-elect a guy, he gets better because he has gained more experience and stuff. So our syndic could Umsink, if we re-elect him, he will get 1 to each skill, so he will get 3 admin, 5 diplo and 3 military skill. And this will also enhance our flow of power. So you have to balance out your Republican tradition with getting more power from it. If your Republican tradition falls too low and your population doesn't believe in Republican ideals anymore, you will change to a despotism at first, to a Republican dictatorship, and if that solidifies, you will change to a monarchy and play from there. So it's important, if you want to keep your republic, to keep your Republican tradition rather high. Introduces national unrest as a bonus thing that scales with your amount of Republican tradition. And if you had lower than 100% Republican tradition, the boosting of stability costs you more administrative power. So you get a malus for this. Yeah, now we have 9,000 regiments, and you can see in this tab, in the military tab, how this is concluded. Why we have 9,000 regiments. We could actually support 10 regiments without any problems. This is the standing army that we can support. That we have the food and the money and the logistical capabilities to support these. And this consists of us being an independent nation. That gives us the ability to support 6,000 men. And then each of our provinces gives us some amount to it. And then we have, as a merchant republic, we have different factions that vie for power in our realm. So we have the aristocrats, representing the aristocratic patrician families that dominate the political life in the capital. Then we have the traders, representing the merchants and ship captains. And we have the guilds that represent the artisans and master craftsmen. And each of them have specific bonuses. So if you have the aristocrats, you get 5% morale of armies, so they fight better and retreat less likely. We can have more land forces. If we have the traders, we will get more trade power. and pay less for our ships. And if we have the guilds, we can build stuff cheaper, buildings. But we have less manpower because it seems they are consuming our men to work, and they are producing 10% more goods. We could enhance our army by 1,000 men, and I think we'll do that. So we'll recruit 1 regiment. You can see it costs 10 ducats and will take 58 days to recruit them. You get this little smithing guy that represents the recruiting of them. This can be done in the provinces. Now this number presents the province development. You can see there are 3 categories. We have the tax development, the production development, and the military development of this country. You can spend points, power points, to increase the development and get more bonuses of this. You can see at the moment it's giving this is showing what it will give if you increase it by 1. So it has different things. So this is another way to convert power into money. Essentially, if you spend 62 admin points, you get 0.04 ducats per month. The cost that you have to pay to develop your countries or your provinces varies depending on your technologies and stuff. And the effectiveness of the development depends on your autonomy. Now this is basically represents how tight your grip on this province is. If you have a firmly established government and local bureaucracy, or if you're letting the local power holders do their thing on their own. And there are benefits to having a higher autonomy, but generally you want it to be lower. Now, I have to end this episode. I'm really sorry that we did not unpause the game. I hope we can do it in the next episode. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. I think I'm fairly competent to answer them. I've about 900 hours on now in EU4. If you enjoyed the episode, please leave me a like. If you did not enjoy the episode, you can also leave a dislike. That's what it's for. And if you want to see more of this series or my content, then please consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you join me next time. Bye bye.